Good evening everyone. Today in this video we will fight against the atmospheric of our world around us, and this time we will discuss one book written by a French author whose name was Gerard Valtet. He was living between 1896 till 1974. He was a French writer, biographer. Also, he was having a company publishing some books, as far as I know. And one of his biography he wrote was the biography of Gaius Julius Caesar. So the book about the greatest of all Romans of all times. It's undebatable in my opinion that Gaius Julius Caesar was the greatest of Romans of all times for all almost 12 centuries during which Roman Empire existed. Actually longer, because we can debate, but even Byzantines on their own, they were calling themselves Romans, so actually Roman state with some transitions ongoing in the meantime during its long history lasted till 29th of May 1453. And if we take traditional days of the establishment of Rome, it was on the 21st of April 1753 before Christ. Okay, but coming back to the biography of Gaius Julius Caesar by Gerard Valtet, which was originally published in French, of course, in 1947, later translated into many languages. This book is a solid work about the divine Julius, and it's based mainly on the written sources that survived till our times, but author uses all available written sources from the antiquity. There are some polemics with some German scholars, Grübe, for the description of the crucial events of Caesar's life, very crucial, like Gallic campaigns, famous conquest of Gaul. Mr. Gerard Valtet uses the conclusions taken from the great works of one of the greatest scholar of Caesarian achievement, Caesarianist, of the turn of the 19th and 20th century, Mr. Julien, actually the man who was studying the life and military achievements, political achievements of Gaius Julius Caesar. Mr. Julien was really one of the greatest scholars that can be comparable only to Mr. Holmes from England and to Mr. Mommsen from Germany. So great company of the scholars of the achievement of the greatest of Roman politicians and Roman head of states. So Mr. Gerard Valter really skillfully connected all of these polemics with the usage of historical sources. He used also for the description of the war between Pompey, civil war in the Roman state that started 49 BC between Pompey and Caesar. He used to just make his book, this fragment of the book, more ornamental and more literary beautiful, but as well as historically valuable. He used as one of the sources Pharsalia, written by Roman poet Lucan, who actually during the reign of Neron, so about 100 years after the described events in Pharsalia took place, he had to commit a suicide. Yeah, you know, these are the shines and darknesses of working for people who have power. Sometimes if they don't like you, they force you to take not only some medicines or pseudo-medicines, but take some iron into the body and just go away forever. Final exit. Just to have final exit. So, but before Lucan died, he almost finished his Pharsalia. It's unfinished book, but very beautiful. And the sympathy of Mr. Lucan were not on the side of Caesar, but were on the side of Pompey. And for Mr. Lucan, this poet, Pompey was the defender of republican values. Of course, he had his rights to his own views. All spectators of my channel my subscribers and the ones who are watching and will be watching this video know that I'm not a Republican. I'm definitely against it. I'm a monarchist, so not a problem. But okay, I respect others' view. But I'm also happy that Pharsalia, this work of Lucan, survived till our times and was really skillfully used by Mr. Gerard Walter in his solid biography of Caesar. Of course, one should compare it with the biography of published originally in English in 2006 by Gaius Caesar by British historian Adrian Goldsworthy, because this comparison needs to be done. I also discussed the biography of Mr. Adrian Goldsworthy on my channel in Polish and in English already. So I have to say that biography of Mr. Gerard Walter is less focused on military achievements and military obstacles Caesar had to overcome in his life, but the book by Gerard Walter is, in my opinion, humble opinion, more focused on Caesar as a man and Caesar as a politician, but first of all, Caesar as a man, as a Roman himself. So, and it's more based on, as I said, on literary sources. So maybe this is one of the reasons why military achievements and military issues are not so much described in detail, but it doesn't decrease the value of this book. So I would recommend the ones who can get it in the language they can read it, read both biographies of Caesar by Adrian Goldsworthy and also by Mr. Gerard Walter, because it's worth reading. And what's more important, this book was published, as I mentioned, in 1947, so it's free of all pseudo-political agendas. Pseudo, politically correcty and so on. So it's a solid work based mainly on literary sources and including some good polemics with previous scholars. And it's also very well enriched with properly selected quotations from the historical sources. All the best. I wish you a nice read of this book. Bye.